Okay, today I want to talk to you about Island by Aldous Huxley. It's a very, very interesting book. It's titled a novel, but it's more a philosophical work, and hopefully I inspire you to read this because this is a very interesting work, and I think it's very much an antidote to Brave New World, because Brave New World is a horrific dystopian novel written by Huxley where people are so distracted by the world around them that they can't see what's wrong. They can't see the inconsistencies in their logic. They can't see the limitations that have been placed upon them by this rigid structure. And most of all, they lose their individuality in the process of this all. And Brave New World has a horrific implication to our current day society, because when you think about people, you think about free will, and there's never been less free will because people all think the same thing. There's no such thing as an individual thought. There's no such thing as a creative work. Can you name a book? Can you name a play? Can you name a story or a movie that's come out in the past few years that is unlike everything else, that transcends genres, that does anything except what everyone else has been doing already? And I maybe there is, but I can't name one. And I think this is a very, very scary time to want something different. This is a very scary time to want to be creative, and I think Island offers the perfect antidote into a society that can actually function, a society that can actually put the good of the individual and the good of the society together in a cohesive way. And it has some interesting implications on, basically how government works, basically on how human nature works. And I think it's really a masterclass. And of all the utopian novels, I think it interplays the spirituality element of society the best. And I think it integrates some of the greatest ideas from across the world into one cohesive society that is a very interesting read. And the thing about Island is, it's not a novel in a conventional sense. The basic structure of the book is there's this guy that's a journalist, and he goes to this island, and basically the entire plot is him talking to different people, learning about different facets of the society. And it's not boring because it's very unique. It's very interesting. They're explaining why the modern world is so wrong and why their world is so right. And the big focus is there is a lack of understanding that when profits are driving everything in this world, then inherently there is a conflict of interest. Then inherently there is something wrong. Then inherently people are going to put their own profits above the interests of people. And this is really what we see in medicine. This is what we see in the intellectual sphere. This is what we see in politics. This is really the root of all injustice in the world, is that people think that their interests, that their needs are above everyone else's. And one of the things that is very much stressed throughout the civilization that Huxley creates is that you don't need more, that you shouldn't overconsume, that overconsumption is one of the greatest vices, because overconsumption never ends. When you think you need more, you're going to keep taking more and more and more and more and more, and nothing will ever satisfy you. The bare minimum, the basic needs is all you need, and anything beyond that is just creating a vice, is just creating something that is going to control you the rest of your life. And Huxley has very, very interesting ideas in this story, and I think some of the most, philosophical, some of the most inspiring are the idea that you shouldn't conform to any set ideal system. You shouldn't conform to any set ism. And I think this is the real problem with the current world, is that everyone wants to group themselves into an ism. Everyone wants to group themselves into an ideology. Everyone wants to conform solely to a belief system that they can explain the world through. And the truth is, the real solution, the real answer, the real truth of the world exists beyond any set belief system. And when we can get beyond our own bullshit, when we can get beyond our own selves, this is where we find the answer. This is where we find the solution that is best for everyone. And it's really just a refreshing thing to read, because most of the dystopian or the utopian novels that you read are very, they're not good. They're all meant to be like, well, this is horrible, this is awful, we need to make sure that this doesn't become the world. I'm talking about Brave New World, I'm talking about 1984, I'm talking about Fahrenheit 451. All of these tales show the disastrous effect of what the future can become. But Island is the first book I've read that actually gives a positive spin on things, that actually gives a positive solution. And Huxley's idea is it's not ditching science, it's not ditching the inventions that we have, but it's integrating spirituality. It's integrating our deeper intentions, our deeper parts of the human psyche, and the deeper motivations that make humans work. And I really think that this is a complete novel. I really think that this is a complete belief system, and it's not even an idealistic form. Like, I doubt if there was an actual island that was modeled off of this that it would fail. I promise you that it would be a success, and I promise you that it would be utopia. And I don't say that very lightly, but Huxley seems like he thought of everything. Huxley seems like he had it all figured out. He had everything solved, and I really think you should read it, because it's something that if you haven't read Huxley, you're going to love, but it's something if you've read him, you're going to appreciate, because I feel like most people have read Brave New World. They've been horrified by that book. They've been horrified to see how everything that was in this book that was written in 1932 came to fruition, but they haven't read Island, that basically gives you the antidote, that basically gives you the solution, that basically gives you a blueprint to structure a society, to structure a community, to inspire people to want to help their neighbors, to inspire people to want to live a better life. And I think it's something that more people should read, because, you know, if we got these ideas in the right hand, I think people could begin to make a small impact on their community. I think people could begin to start to see that, like, it's not these news stories that happen on a grand scale that affect us. It's the day-to-day activities that we interact with our neighbors about, we interact with our family about. I think if you improve yourself, if you improve your community, you've done more than you can, and you've done all you need to do in order to make this world a better place. As Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in this world. Go ahead, pick up the story. I love Aldous Huxley. He's one of my favorite authors, but I think this is a great book, even if you've never read anything by him. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Peace out. I'll catch you in the next one.